Have you noticed how someone with an everyday salary can quietly build $1 million fortune, while a high-earning professional finds themselves drowning in debt? Often, the money we spend is doing a job that has nothing to do with personal finance. We buy luxury cars and oversized homes specifically to signal our status to the people around us. Having the cash to buy visible luxuries makes you rich. But wealth is completely different. Wealth is the money you don't see, the unspent financial assets sitting quietly in investment accounts. If money were purely a math problem, the smartest people in the room would always be the wealthiest. Yet history is full of geniuses who went bankrupt, while average earners retired with millions. This suggests that financial success isn't actually a game of high intelligence or complex degrees. It is purely a game of everyday behavior. Daying a lot of money usually requires taking significant risks and swinging for the fences. Keeping that money requires the exact opposite: humility, frugality, and a healthy dose of paranoia that things could go wrong. True wealth is invisible. It is the conscious choice to skip a purchase today, creating a financial shield that protects you from losing everything tomorrow. We are wired to want immediate results, making the sprint for overnight financial success incredibly tempting. But rushing the process frequently leads to critical, unforced errors. Genuine fortunes are practically boring to watch. They are built through small, consistent actions, repeated day in and day out over decades, rather than massive one-time windfalls. Look at Warren Buffett. His incredible net worth is certainly tied to his investing skill, but the true driver of his success is the sheer length of time he has remained in the market. This line graph shows how compounding actually works in practice. The curve stays deceptively flat for decades, testing your patience, before it finally spikes dramatically upward at the very end of the timeline. That is where the vast majority of the wealth is generated. In the financial marathon, securing mathematically average returns and sustaining them for an extraordinarily long period will always outpace high-risk short-term sprinting. We love to study the specific habits of billionaires as if they are a guaranteed recipe. But for every person who took a massive risk and won, there are thousands who did the exact same thing and lost due to a market crash or a bad timing shift they couldn't control. Because success and failure are often the result of these invisible forces, luck and risk, blindly copying the winners is a dangerous strategy. Unchecked greed creates a psychological trap where nothing is ever enough. When successful people push for money they don't even need, they frequently end up risking and losing everything they already have. We often try to map out our financial lives using perfect, rational math, but real life is emotionally unpredictable, and mathematical perfection rarely survives contact with human stress. This structural bridge diagram illustrates the margin of safety. Just as engineers build in a buffer zone to prevent collapse under heavy stress, keeping cash and emergency funds protects you from unexpected shocks better than trying to optimize every single penny. Long-term survival requires shifting your mindset. You don't need to be mathematically perfect. You just need to be consistently reasonable and prepare for the inevitable mistakes along the way. You have very little control over what the global market does tomorrow, and limited control over when you get your next raise. But you have total control over the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Because wealth is simply the accumulation of that gap, focusing on your savings rate gives you far more mathematical leverage over your future than chasing a higher salary. Every piece of unnecessary debt you take on actively consumes your future income today. Eliminating that debt is the fastest, most direct route to regaining your personal autonomy. The highest and most valuable use of money has nothing to do with buying material things. Money's greatest purpose is purchasing absolute control over your own time. Real freedom is the ability to walk away from a bad job, to say no to unreasonable demands, and to wake up every morning knowing you can spend your day exactly how you wish. Reaching that point requires committing to boring daily habits. Regular saving and disciplined spending, guided by firm principles rather than passing emotions, slowly build your foundation. When you finally master your own behavior, you stop trading your life away to impress strangers. Instead, you start using your money to buy back your freedom.